And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we have returned. We have returned here with our second series of the night of LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals Playoffs Day number 1. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss for Team Liquid, it is SKillous. Here we go. So again, I do apologize for the stream going down, but I did have to switch servers when it came to Twitch. I had to change Twitch servers, and hopefully everything is a little bit more stable. I don't know if you noticed, but we did have some drop frames and some connection issues previously, so I do apologize for that, but it should be smooth sailings from here on forward, and hopefully we get everyone back. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Until then, we are settling in. We do have our TvP ahead of us. Again, we're still quite early in the day. We just wrapped up with our first series, and we have 3 more matches ahead of us. 3 more best of 5s to come to confirm who makes it through. Now, this is going to be another elimination match. Dark has been eliminated from the tournament. Dark, he just went down to Raynor, and now we are here to determine who will join, or who will also be knocked out and join Dark out of the event, and who will advance on to face off against Raynor in the next round. For now, economic opener. Racks expand out of GuMiho, economic start. Meanwhile, SKillous going for a gate, Saber into expand. Here we go. So, standard opener here by SKillous, economic opener by GuMiho. It's going to be opening up economically. And again, hopefully we can find everyone once again. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So do settle in. Again, GuMiho, he has actually been struggling quite a bit here in this matchup. We went over the podcast previously, and we did take note of GuMiho falling to Trigger. He went down to Classic as of late as well. I want to say that SKillous is definitely comparable in skill to the players that I just mentioned, so I want to say that SKillous has a decent chance here to make it through. And also, before I forget, you know what time it is? It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. As you have a couple of minutes as we speak to place those bets and to get your predictions underway. Well, now we have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of SKillous. Opening up Twilight Council. Into Blink. And across the map, we do see GuMiho just getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. No 3 racks or 2-1-1 or anything too crazy like that. None of the sorts. Not here. Not this time. This time. As the Adept does in the shade. Shades are threatened. GuMiho pulling back. Adept do make it in. Yeah, do shade into the main base. Marines are going to be going down. He gets 1. He's going to get 2. Pretty big losses here. 2 Marines go down. They can threaten the mineral line, but alas, the the Reaper should be able to clean this up. The Reaper falls as well. Uh-oh. Reaper does fall. Workers, they're under threat. Adepts are low, but they can still wreak havoc. Oh my god. Jesus, as the Adept finally goes down. One of them falls. The other should as well. Whew. GuMiho, he survives, but there's some brutal losses here. And again, a little less mine time in the main base for GuMiho. A nice start for SKillous. Very nice start. He does rally in. SKillous is just going to be reinforcing here into the center of the map, trying to catch any kind of counterattack. Likewise, GuMiho fast third CC. Wait, hold on. Going for a 3cc 2-1-1. Very unique build. This is rarely seen in TvP. I'm a little bit in shock and a little bit in awe, not gonna lie. Oof. As a nice trade for GuMiho, catching out 2 of those Stalkers, going for the final Stalker as well. The lock-ons are brutal. As SKillous, he will lose this. Oof. We'll bleed out all 3 Stalkers. Command center is on the way. And GuMiho is looking to secure himself. Meanwhile, SKillous, he's in the dark, getting his own 3rd base. Remember, 3-gate blink. Safe opener here by SKillous. Does allow him to be somewhat active and somewhat aggressive. As he perks in, gets an SCV, and he should be able to get eyes on the main, and he should be able to realize just how greedy GuMiho has been. Again, like a 362-1-1 is crazy. But he's done it. Even into double eBays. Now SKillous knows it's too late to delay. Going for the tank. Tank is going to be under fire. Hot pickup, saves the Stalker. Ooh, Stalker goes down. And the tank survives. No, sure, the tank barely does live. SKillous going to be forced back. Another tank shot going off as well. GuMiho holds, and GuMiho is getting away with such an insanely fast third base. He's getting away with it. And SKillous, he's trying to punish. Emphasis on trying. He wants a tank. Baits out the shot. Ooh, we lose a Stalker. Trading 1 for 1. Better trade for SKillous. Hits the mineral line. At least it's trying to. But Sim is done. And another Stalker goes down. SKillous in a lot of trouble here. He has to pull away. Does have to pull away. SKillous is going to rotate, diving into the main, catching up an SCV. Oof. Catching out a worker so far. Nice control. SKillous, she does save all of his Stalkers. Oh my god, the trades! I mean, the army's very low, the boys are being pulled, but the warp in will complete. Charge is now done. GG gets caught. SKillous, he barely does punish GuMiho, and SKillous takes game number 1. Whew, GG. SKillous with the punish. And with that, SKillous starts things off with a win here. Again, GuMiho was cutting so many corners, being so greedy. But he pulls it off. Does pull it off. See if he can bring it back. Oh. Okay, we'll see if he can bounce back. I mean, it's a best of 5. It's going to be a best of 5 here. Plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Don't you worry. And I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an extended series. The pressure is on. Pressure is on as our next game is going to be in Frostline. Another one of these larger maps in the map pool. Larger map. More of an exposed map is what I will say. It is more exposed. And here we go. We're jumping in. I'm going to be jumping in. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back, and we'll see what kind of crazy builds he has in store for us this time. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. Again, GuMiho just being crazy, going for an insanely greedy build in that last game, and SKillous, he barely was able to punish. And now we find ourselves in game number 2. Let's go. Let's find ourselves here in the second game. And SKillous does move out with a bit of a scout. Checks the third base, moves out across the map. We'll see if he does set anything up here. Out on Frostline. We'll see what he can accomplish. GuMiho, meanwhile, going for his own racks. Single gas. Once again, economic opener. We saw last game a rack expand out of GuMiho. We should be seeing it here once again. As SKillous, he does avoid the main scouting path. Has arrived and will confirm. So SKillous, he does confirm what's going on. Keeping eyes on GuMiho. Does keep eyes on him. Meanwhile, CC on the high ground, GuMiho playing it safe. Plays it carefully. Does play it safe. Behind this, SKillous likewise just setting into his tech of choice. I wouldn't blame something like a Stargate opener, but we spoke about how difficult it is to actually maintain your third and fourth base on Frostline, so leaning more towards a Twilight Council here out of SKillous. We'll keep an eye on him. As a reminder, last game we did see a 3-gate blink build by SKillous. Did see 3-gate blink. Could do it again. There it is, a Twilight Council has been placed. Oh, the probe got stuck. Ah, no. The probe did get trapped to force the recall. Force to spend energy. Aye. So less than ideal here for SKillous, but, you know, regardless, we have our tech of choice. Hopefully that area doesn't become an issue later when it comes to, I don't know, some drop play or some kind of harass. I'm sure it won't. It'll be fine. Copium. As we're keeping an eye on our gateways here from the side of SKillous, this time GuMiho does throw down a Stargate, or Starport. Starport has been placed, getting into his second and soon-to-be third racks as well. So this time a much more standard follow-up here out of GuMiho. As a reminder, last game, GuMiho, he skipped his Starport in favor of a third TC. This time is going to be embracing it, going into drop play. Oh, I would imagine drop play. Never mind, it's going to be a Liberator first here out of GuMiho. Let's go. Tech lab is done. Checking the vision. GuMiho, he has not confirmed the tech. He's unaware as to what's going on. Could be Stargate, could be Twilight Council, could be Robo. GuMiho going to be opening up going to be opening up Tech Lab into Cyclone with Liberas as well. With that Liberator. There's that third Vax. Again, 3-1-1. And GuMiho this time is going for a delayed stim. When I say delayed stim, he just rushed into stim last game. It was just a crazy build. It's just crazy. This time we're settling in. Gateways are finishing up. Again, 2 gateways in the main for SKillous, third gateway here at the natural, 3-gate blink into that War Prism, and the goal here for SKillous is to move out to contain the Terran and to potentially wreak a little bit of havoc in the bases. If he moves out too soon, though, he's going to be vulnerable to the aggression of GuMiho. You have a live towards the natural, and the Cyclone is revealed. SKillous, he has blink. Blink is done, third base on the way. GuMiho, he rotates. SKillous looking for the Cyclones, he will miss it. Does miss the Cyclones. Liberator in between the bases. SKillous, he's aware. And as SKillous moves out, GuMiho is getting ready to move in. Does did it into the bases. Going for the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. Oh, the boys are being pulled. And they are lining up. Yeah, 5 probe kills. Very nice damage. At the same time, SKillous, he runs into a tank. Yeah, he's going to be forced back. Blink was just spent, which means these Stalkers are exposed. 1 Stalker goes down. He gets a 2nd Stalker as well. Brutal losses for SKillous. And GuMiho takes the lead. He gets 7. He gets 8 probe kills. This has still not been dealt with. Ay. Still not cleaned up. Stalkers, they try to respond. 10 probe kills. That is brutal. And the pressure is on SKillous. He needs to get some kind of counter damage here. Rotating into the main. Rotating into the main. Getting a Marine. Oh, going for the medevac. Doesn't quite get it. Nice control here by SKillous, but a Stalker goes down. Does get a Stalker. SKillous getting forced back. Gonna be reinforcing. SKillous, he's looking for more, hoping to find a straight tank, a couple of SCVs. Alas, he's being deflected. SKillous going for the dive, but there's a 2nd tank behind this. He gets 1. Does at least get 1. SKillous pulls away. And again, GuMiho, he has a better economy. Has a terrifying army. The lock-on on the War Prism is brutal as well. It's gonna go down. There's no saving it. No saving the War Prism. SKillous, he's hurting. He's in a lot of trouble here. Doesn't get the tank. Pulls away. Takes a shot to the face. SKillous trying to establish that third base, but here comes GuMiho. He's moving out. Now, bearing in mind, he keeps tanks at home. The tanks are kept back at home, only moving out with the drop play with the Marines. GuMiho being active. Did I say he's leaving the tanks back at home? Never mind. Does on siege. He sends everything across the map, but behind this, he's not going for an all-in. He's going for a third TC. It's halfway done, but GuMiho is committed nonetheless. Is committed. SKillous trying to set up back at home. Nice force fields. Looking down the Marines. I'll pick up behind GuMiho. Saves what he can. Maintains the tanks. Does maintain his tanks. SKillous dropping into the main. Going for his own counterattack. Does force GuMiho to respond. He does notice in time. And so far he controls well. Pulling back to the mineral line. Everything turns back around. GuMiho racing back home. And we'll see what SKillous can get done. Trading somewhat well against some of these Marines. SKillous being active. He does spot the CC. There's a tank on the high ground. SKillous is hoping to at least delay the expansion. Potentially dive on this army. It's going to be difficult though. There are still 2 tanks behind. This has a lot of zealots though. Charge will say flood in. They go for the mineral line. Marine's going to be going down, forcing friendly fire. Nice force field. Yeah, very nice force field. Clutch save here by GuMiho. Saves most of the bio. Most of the Marauders, but what about the SCVs? The SCVs are left for their own devices. 18 SCVs going down, forcing the on siege. And SKillous gets away. SKillous, he takes down the mineral line. Trades with the bio. And mainly loses zealots. That's what's important here. Much more efficient trade by SKillous, just throwing zealots away. Likewise, once again, threatens to dive. Escapes to the War Prism. And building up Colossus. Colossus are on the way for SKillous. He does trigger a counterattack. GuMiho does have the larger main army. And can SKillous survive? He did well for himself trading out those zealots, but without those zealots, I mean, his main army, it's lacking. Oh, especially with his army being out on the map. GuMiho, he finds the 4th and going for the 3rd. The boys, they do rally in. That's going to be 12 probes going down. SKillous is in trouble. He's up against the wall. Does blink over. Does blink in. But GuMiho might just have too much here. Yeah, he's looking to overwhelm. The base is getting low. SKillous tries to engage at the same time. Zealots, they hit across the map. They delay reinforcements. They delay the production. But there's just so much bio here. The Zealous melts. SKillous, he abandons the base. He knows he cannot save it. And that means that the 3rd base falls, the 4th as well. GuMiho will knock down both bases. Back at home, only 10 SCVs. GuMiho does take a worker lead, or I should say economic lead. Bearing in mind he has mules. And SKillous, he cannot engage. Not like this. GuMiho, he dives on the army, takes out a Colossus. Colossus goes down, Stalkers as well, and there's almost nothing left. GG gets called. GuMiho ties up the series. We have a back and forth. GG. We have a back and forth. We have our matchup. Let's go. Here we go. GG, well played. GuMiho does tie things up 1-1. And now we have a series. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth. Let's go. Getting ready for Game 3. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. As a reminder, this is a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. I'm hoping for, a full series here. At least I'm hoping for that. We'll see if that's the case. So we're getting into game 3. As a reminder, the night is still young. Plenty more games ahead of us. Oh. As this is only the second series of the night. Cool t-shirts. I mean, you can't... I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like blending into the background. Oh no. This is actually green. You can't really tell, but it's actually a shade of green, I should say. Because I have a green screen, I'm like fading away a little bit. I'm getting dusted. Oh no. But here we go. Get into game number 3. Stay with us. I know. I'm not feeling too good. No. Not like this. If I leave, it's gonna be after the series, after the cast. I promise you that, as we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, fighting back and tying up the series. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, being forced into a tied series. It is SKillous. Here we go. Again, it has been an intense back and forth. Game 1, GuMiho was crazy, went for a wild build, and was punished for it. Game number 2, we saw a much more standard setup instead, a much more chaotic game state as a result, where Skillous was attempting to find some damage, was struggling to do so. GuMiho popping off with his own counterattack, and putting Skillous in a rough position. A lot of it did come down to the early harassment. If you remember, GuMiho, he killed 10 probes. He killed 10 probes with his Hellion Liberator harass. He pulled Skillous apart. If you remember, Skillous, he was out of position, he was across the map, and Skillous was punished for it. So some really rough early games for both players. Game 1, it was a rough start for GuMiho. Game 2, rough start for Skillous. Game 3, who is going to be the player to gain momentum in this third game? Because whoever does, I mean, they typically maintain that momentum as well. Typically do maintain it. As for now, we do have SKillous setting up back at home. Just going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Slightly more greedy opener this time out of SKillous. Remember previously, I mean, that standard setup is gate into Cybercore into Nexus. This Nexus is slightly faster, just cutting corners, and it makes sense on a larger map like King's Cove, on a defendable map as well. Welcome one and all, of course, to the third largest map in the map pool, King's Cove. A very defendable 3-base setup, I should say, and as we mentioned previously in Dark versus Raynor, the fourth base is much more vulnerable, much more exposed, much more difficult to defend. We go. Much more difficult. And we'll see if that's going to be kind of a pivotal location here for our players. For either one, really. For either fourth. As GuMiho setting up on the high ground. Just racks expand into factory. CC now being there in the location. Oh god, the greed he's crazy. Oh my god. That is a nut once again. Third CC before Starport, this time before racks as well. Very greedy build here by GuMiho. Byun, is that you? Byun is also very fond of this. He's very fond of this kind of style. And he would do so all the time on side Delta in the previous map pool. I mean, I know that the map is large and is defendable. True. If you want to go for a greedy build, this is a map for it. We'll see if Skillous will recognize, as Skillous opens up Stargate into Phoenix. Not really the best start here when it comes to trying to punish a player being greedy. Phoenix is, what can they do? They can harass Mineral Lines, true. They can harass, they can shut down drop play, they can maintain map control, but they can't really do any major critical damage here, especially not this early on. We'll see what skills can get done. We'll see if GuMiho gets away with this, as the CC is almost complete at this point. Once again, following it up with that second Rex. It's looking very similar to what we saw in game 1. SKillous he pokes in, now he knows. SKillous he is aware. CC does complete. And how does SKillous respond? Does he meet greed with greed and go into a third base and try to be very tech heavy and go like double forge into Robo into Bay? What is the plan? SKillous, he's hunting down the Hellions. He's being active with the Adepts. Again, there's a lot of pressure on SKillous, and he will expand. He is going to expand. SKillous moves out. Likewise, the Bay is on the way. He's going to be on the way. Working towards Colossus. We get some okay pickups here, but whole damage is dealt. Cyclone pops off. SKillous pulling away. And again, SKillous has to get as much damage as possible here. Whether it's Marines, SCVs, whatever he can. Slow down GuMiho. Otherwise, GuMiho is going to snowball out of control in the mid game. Which is a faster third, better saturation, faster triple SV production. SKillous is setting up. Doesn't quite commit. Quiet, still rotating. SKillous, you will get a couple of SCVs. Delay some of the production, thankfully. Back at home, building up Colossus, getting into upgrades. +1 is on the way. Charge as well. I mean, this is still just a really standard setup. I do appreciate this. The 4th CC, the 4th Nexus is on the way for SKillous, and he needs his 4th base as quickly as possible. Just because of the greed of GuMiho. So I guess that is SKillous' response here. He recognizes he cannot deal any damage, any meaningful damage. He's just getting a couple of Marines here and there. So he has to try to outgreed his opponent, or at least try to maintain himself, and try to keep up. Whether or not he can, yet to be determined. Now, the real benefit here of this faster third base that's now being taken is in the mid game. Once his base gets saturated, you will see very quickly GuMiho skyrocket ahead in supply. You don't really see it yet because GuMiho, he's still not able to make full use of that faster third, but soon he will. And when he does, it is going to be apparent. So it takes a while for it to really be showcased here in the game itself, for it to start paying off. SKillous is forced back. There comes that 3-base saturation. SKillous getting his 4th. Building up. Interesting. SKillous going for a Templar Archives instead of a second Robo, so he's not going into Disruptors, he's going into Storm instead. I'm assuming. Assuming Templar Archives into Storm. Templar on the way. Building up. SKillous, he moves out with his main army. GuMiho likewise building up as well. The move out is spotted by the Observer. SKillous, he knows. Scan reveals the 3rd base saturation. SKillous double expanding, getting a 4th and a 5th base. His double expanding. But GuMiho does have the larger army. GuMiho does have the larger army. 4 CC on location. Zealous moving out for a run by. Main armies are about to clash. SKillous pulling away. Zealous catch reinforcements. Not bad. 2 Marines, a Marauder into the mineral line. GuMiho, he turns back around. He's going to go with his man's down as he's going down. Massive damage. GuMiho completely out of position. As that's a play bust into the natural. Main army gets spotted. SKillous, he's moving in. Saw GuMiho race back. The tanks are exposed. He wants them. And he's going to get them as well. Both tanks get lifted. Army's trying to keep up. At least one tank goes down. Well, where are the zealots? Where's the support? Support still coming in. Tank voice going off. Massive tank shots of the Colossus. How about SKillous? He has done it. He breaks through. He does punish GuMiho. That's a kill that cancels on the CC. Tank count gets reset. GuMiho being forced back. And SKillous has a massive advantage here. Whew. Oh my god. Again, that zealot run by the MVPs, papi. It didn't just deal economic damage, it caught reinforcements, and it forced GuMiho all the way back home. It exposed his own tanks. And now GuMiho is up against the wall. GuMiho, he's in trouble now. SKillous diving in. And GuMiho, what can he do? Force fields, they lock down a portion of the army. Archon's in a rough position. But Zal's they do more than enough. GG gets called, and SKillous takes a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. I should also reiterate, I did say that the run-bys were the MVPs. In a way, yes, but also the Observer, right? The Observer allowed SKillous to know when the army moved out, allowed SKillous to see the army movement, the army rotation, and when GuMiho was vulnerable at his most, or at his most vulnerable. Did tell him, of course, to go for the run-by at the time. And with that, SKillous did pop off. GG. GG, well played. Ooh, and now we do embrace game number 4. We'll see how this story ends. We'll see if we get an ace match or if SKillous will take the 3-1. The pressure is on. What does this mean? Gah, papi, gah. It's a Latin American meme. It's a Latin American meme. Don't worry, don't worry. It's fine, it's fine. Think of it like a war cry, papi. It's fine. we do actually have a lot of leftover Latin American memes in our chat. Like like this. Is this still working? Yeah. We have some old school Latin American memes. It's been a while. It's been a while since they've been relevant, I should say. We used to be like the main casters for Latin American StarCraft events. Nowadays, less so. Like, I'm talking about back in like 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 sort of era of StarCraft. Yeah, not as current as to what the channel is now, what I will say. But you know, it's still there. It's still there. I miss it. But now we're settling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1. Almost one more game is all he needs to advance on to the next round. It is SKillous. Yo, Smile knows, papi. He knows, papi. Este Smile. Buenos días, papi. Este Smile. Gah. Beautiful. For now, though, welcome one and all to Neon Violet Square. Welcome to the largest map of the map pool, the map known for greed, the map known for cutting corners. If GuMiho were to once again go for a faster third CC, this would be a much safer map to do it on. We saw him punished in the end on King's Cove, but if he were to do it here on Neon Violet Square, he can get away with it. Likewise, so can SKillous when it comes to being more greedy. Gate expand here out of SKillous, so speaking of, more economic opener here by SKillous, slightly more greedy. We saw this same opener here on King's Cove. Did see the same opener. Now though, we are settling in. Likewise, a factory is on the way. Just racks expand into factory here. Economic start out of GuMiho. It's what we've been seeing from him so far quite prevalently in this series. GuMiho checking the pocket base just in case, just to be sure. I should also emphasize, the map isn't just large, long rush distance by ground, many bases to be taken, very defendable base setup as well, with your pocket base, with your third, with your fourth, with your fifth. The gold as well is also a viable option once we get into a longer game state. If you do have map control, can be a factor. But we'll get there. We will get there. As GuMiho is moving out for a scout, and he's going for a 1-1-1. No fast third CC. Not this time. Here we go. GuMiho does a poke in. Likewise, Stargate opener once again from SKillous, 2 games in a row, going for the Stargate. And again, on larger maps, it is safe to do so. Like, I would not condone like Stargate play on Whispers of Gold or Ley Lines or Ultra Love, but on larger maps like King's Cove and Abyssal, as well as Neon Violet Square, go for it. Embrace it, Pappy, embrace it. This time opening up not Phoenix, opening up Oracle. Interesting. So SKillous going for a more aggressive start, opening up Oracle. With this, can either commit into Phoenixes or deviate and go into something like +1 in charge, +1 in blink, into a gateway composition. We'll see. Light Shred is partially cloaking. It is. It is. As GuMiho does drop into the main. Does go for the marine drop. Does run the mineral line. So far, 1, 2 probes going to be going down. 2 probes do fall. Getting third and the fourth. Not bad for a handful of marines. Very nice drop here by GuMiho. At the same time, SKillous rushing into a fleet. Oh my, I didn't even notice. My apologies. I was otherwise distracted. SKillous rushing into a fleet beacon. He's crazy. We're going for a Tempest rush in TvP. He's lost his mind. Getting 4 CVs, not bad. 4 workers going down. He gets a full scout of the 1-1-1. He gets a full scout of the Cloak Banshee. GuMiho going for the 3rd CC on location. Very greedy build here by GuMiho. He's going to be harassing. Yes, that is true, but he's going to be very economic behind this. Focusing on his greed, focusing on his bases. As a result, SKillous, he should be safe to do this. And checking GuMiho's vision. He has seen it. He has scouted. He is somewhat aware. I say somewhat. He did scout the tech, but did he click on it? Did he click on the building? Did he click on the fleet beacon? That I'm less certain of. As GuMiho pulls back home. Does pull back. Going for his add-on swap. Cloak did complete. Banshees are moving out. Drops as well. And we'll see if GuMiho can break his opponent. Shall see. He's looking to commit in. Just biding his time. Poking in, not quite committing though. Not quite yet. Alas, SKillous is in position, building up. Ooh, just the 1 Tempest? 2. Okay, 2 Tempests have built up. He's not getting a 3rd. Do you see GuMiho? He has responded. Vikings are amassing. +1 vehicle weapons into mech. Let's go. Thor, he is hard reacting to this. Going for Reactor Viking into Mass Thor. 2nd factory. He's committing so hard. And I would say overreacting, because SKillous, he only made 2 into Ground Toss, into Mass Blink Stalker. GuMiho, he takes the bait. He takes the bait. And GuMiho, he's in a bit of trouble here. Is in trouble. we go. Sorry, just setting things up. As SKillous moves out, runs into the army again, plenty of Vikings, and the first Tempest is going to go down. Oh, this is a bit of a premature move out here from SKillous. Going to be losing both Tempests. Both Tempests do fall, and now that's going to be the tell that GuMiho needs to start making Thors. So I was hoping that maybe we could try to sell the story a little bit longer here to try to force GuMiho to make extra Thors, but only 2. And now GuMiho's moving out, and again, he's making it up. He's one of the few players to embrace mech in this matchup. One of the few. SKillous moving out. Oh! SKillous trying to keep up, diving the army, going for the Thors. He gets one. One Thor goes down. Medevac is here for a hot pickup. Medevac is going to fall as well, but oh, the trades are too good. So many Stalkers do fall, and GuMiho is nowhere out of control. He's pushing in. No shield battery. No shield battery set up. Just purely Blink Stalker. Can he dive in? He's going for it. Goes to the dive. He gets one tank. Gets the second. GuMiho is running out of steam. He's down to 1 Thor and 1 Viking. Handful of Marines. These are vanilla Marines. Remember that. They're here just for moral support. And they're going to be cleaned up. I mean, they do some damage, don't get me wrong. Stasis goes up. Cyclones have arrived. Lock-ons are being broken. And SKillous holds. SKillous, he barely holds on. Whew. Again, that was a clutch hold. With this going for a counterattack, hoping to catch any of these stray units. Observer will chase the main army. We can see GuMiho switching into mass battle mech. Into Hellions, Cyclones, and Widowmines. We're done with the Thor tank. Going for something more mobile. 4th base, of course, on the way as well. It's going to be on the way. SKillous going for the gold. Let's go. I mean, SKillous, he has map control, so it makes sense. Rushing into the gold base. As that was his 4th as well. Rotating over. Ready for his own Zealot drop into the main. We'll see if he can pull GuMiho apart. Mine shot going up. Doesn't connect. Army gets spotted. Oh. This tank is set. At the same time, Spotter Vax will spot the drop. And GuMiho, he responds in time. Mine getting a position. Ooh, mine shot going up. Zealous will get a couple of SCVs, but nothing too major. The Prism goes down to the lock-on. GuMiho holds. I know without losing 7 SCVs, though. Getting 7 SCV kills. Likewise, Banshee across the map. Finally, it has arrived, getting a handful of worker kills. More Banshees are in production, actually. GuMiho going back into Banshee. Doing well for himself. Getting 7 probes of his own. Likewise, SKillous trying to be somewhat active, trying to catch any stray units. GuMiho, he will escape with that Banshee. And again, he's making more. Up! Oh, I spoke too soon. What about? Does escape. Whew. Barely gets away. Does get away. SKillous moving out, morphing in more Archons. And GuMiho is turtling up. I was hoping we'd be avoiding this, but GuMiho is making 3 tanks at a time, so GuMiho is fully turtling up, throwing down turrets, sensor towers, planetaries, more tanks, more of just completely walling up and walling off. It's time. It's turtle time. It's time to turtle on up. Meanwhile, SKillous, upon recognizing this, sky toss into Tempest production. We did forego Tempest production earlier, but we can see Tempest now on the way once again. The reason for this is because the Viking count has been reset and there are no more Thors any longer. Now it's mainly a ground-based composition tank tank, Banshee, Hellion, Cyclone, so the era of Skytoss is now upon us. Earlier we were rushing into it, it was shut down, but now it is much more viable here. Now it's a lot more natural for SKillous. It is going to be a lot more natural. Likewise, embracing that gold base, so SKillous, he's able to maintain his economy. GuMiho, you could argue, is maybe has too much supply in SCVs. He's got 90 SCVs, and that does mean that GuMiho's main army is smaller. Does have a smaller main army. Banshees, they do arrive, they do distract, they keep SKillous busy. Scans keeping on the army. SKillous, he does engage it with the Hellions. Nice lock-ons though. Tempest is revealed. Again, that is an early tell. Tempests are going to be shown. Nice lock-ons on the Archons. Banshees, they get away. And GuMiho did force a cancel. So nice done by GuMiho. You know, behind this, more starports. This should be for Mass BC. Mass BC is the ideal, if he can get there. Not an easy army to transition into. Prism goes down. GuMiho just picking SKillous apart here. And SKillous' army, again, is still not ideal. He's got Archons, Immortals, a couple of Tempest. GuMiho coming back this time. We're ready. SKillous in position. GuMiho, he rotates. He is spotted. SKillous knows. Does he recall? How does SKillous respond as he's being dragged towards the bottom left corner of the map? GuMiho taking the gold. SKillous, he rotates, or at least he's trying to. Again, the map is quite large. It's quite difficult to rotate from one side to the other. It takes a long time. GuMiho catching at the Archon. Oh! Getting rid of the shields. Stalkers, they attempt to intercept. They spot the base. Oh, but the lock-ons, they're brutal. Once again, they're looking down these Stalkers. There we go. Yamato's on the way. We have yet to fully embrace Mass BC. As GuMiho, I'm sure he does want to take a fight first to free up some supply. Decent lock-ons. Ooh, the Tempest taking a lot of damage. And ideally, we want to be more Zealot heavy here. Again, how do you deal with mech? Typically with charge lots with Immortals and Archons. Just because Zealots are great units to try to close the gap and dive on the Cyclones and the tanks. Double lock-on. Tempest goes down. Massive pickup. SKillous is having a really hard time just piecing this all together. GuMiho goes for another counterattack. No detection. Or we're lacking a revelation here. Oh no, revelation misses. Oh, revelation does miss. Thankfully, there is a cannon. Cloak runs out. So there we go. We get the final Banshee. SKillous, he does handle it. Now we can focus on this push. How many Tempest? 3. Only 3 Tempest. Mainly a ground composition. Moving in, takes out the Thor. Ooh. Got a brutal disable here on the mothership. SKillous, he has to retreat. Has to respect it. SKillous, he does pull away. Getting into more Tempest production. We spoke earlier, GuMiho, he did have too many SCVs, so he's going to get rid of them. This is really helping GuMiho more than anything. Throwing away these workers, freeing up supply for more units, more army. As GuMiho, he has established that gold. On the one hand, yes, SKillous has map control, but it's going to come down to the eventual breakouts. And I do favor GuMiho's army currently. But we'll see. We're getting mini skirmishes. Nice trade here by SKillous, catching out some of the Cyclones. Ooh, cannot push into the siege line though. Again, like pushing into this is going to be so difficult. We've got planetaries, we've got CCs, we've got turrets, sensor towers, tank lines. Do appreciate this though. How do you deal with this kind of wall, this kind of setup with your own cannons and shield batteries? Have your own outposts to maintain your Tempest, to heal them up, to keep pushing. Speaking of, the wall has been spotted. But again, this outpost allows SKillous to be more efficient. As you can see, pushes in, takes some hits, pulls back, tops up his shields, keeps going. At least ideally, that's how this works. GuMiho breaking out. So I was running to the side defense. SKillous pushing forward. He wants those tanks. He's going to get them. GuMiho out of position. Racing back. 3 tanks go down. But SKillous, he can't commit. Likewise, the Thors are getting around on the left-hand side. Storm zoning away. Thors are coming in from behind. Planetary under fire. Oh, they move command in! The move command! Yeah, a bit of a miss-rally. Misrally here from GuMiho, throwing away 2 Thors at the same time. Base is denied on the right hand side. Very nice damage here from SKillous. Does recall, rotate over. There's still actually a lot of resources here at this base, and once again 2 tanks are exposed. They're naked. They're on their own. The pants are down. GuMiho just counterattacks. He's done. Just going for a counterattack. The bases are going down. He's trying to commit. Running into reinforcements. Not a bad trade here for GuMiho. Shuts down the Stalkers, shuts down the Immortals. And SKillous, he just keeps going. He just keeps pushing in. Now, there is Mass Raven waiting for him, so he can disable. True. He can disable the army. GuMiho is racing back home. SKillous reinforcing with Stalker. Stalker against Cyclone. It's going to be a tough trade here for SKillous. We said earlier, I mean, we need those Zealots. Do need those charge lots here. SKillous, he attempts to trade. He's going to be kited. Here we go. The main army does respond. Again, that's a lot of Cyclones. Almost pure Cyclone. Ravens are coming for the mass disable. Yeah, disable every single Skytoss unit, and SKillous, he gets caught out. The Cyclone Sparky, they come in, they lock on, and they clean everything up. Yeah, this was not it. SKillous, he gets caught with his pants down. He will lose everything. The mass Cyclone, let's go. The Cyclowns have returned, and SKillous cannot rebuild. He cannot rebuild fast enough. SKillous has a bank, but it takes a long time to rebuild that kind of army. And it looks like we might just have an ace match. GuMiho, he has done it. He's pushing through, getting into the mineral line. Brutal missile here on the main army, getting into the production. And he will depower everything. GuMiho, he has done it. Oh, we do have Mass Stalker coming in from behind. The Ravens! Ravens getting caught out. Not bad. The Ravens are caught. SKillous trying to force his back. He's saving his bases. And there we go. He's warping in 7 Stalkers at a time. He surrounds the army. Whew. He defends. He holds. The Panic Stalker reinforcements does hold on. Things are looking dire. And the game continues. The game does continue. SKillous, he saves his production. He has to repower it, of course, but he does save it. But here comes the final form of GuMiho. Now that he's freed up supply, you know what it's time for? BC. It's time for the BCs. But BCs do take a long time to build up. And SKillous, he's coming in. Ooh, takes a lot of tank shots to the face. A lot of tank shots. Once again, the lock-ons are brutal. SKillous, he has to get the hell out of here. Bleeding out a lot of gas base units as well. Bleeding out a lot of Stalkers, bleeding out those Oracles as well. Mass DT counterattack, hits a CC. Force to recall. Force to recall. Catching out stray tanks. Tanks going down, Liberators as well. Not bad. Going for the planetary, one more volley. does get it. Planetary goes out, but here come the Cyclones. And Cyclones, they should be able to clean this up. I say that. We have the slow zone. Mothership comes in for support. Nice target firing here out of SKillous. Does target down the Cyclones, but he still will lose this fight. And a head-on fight here. GuMiho will force back the army. Will chase him down. More Stalkers coming in to reinforce. More Stalkers do come in. DT counterattack, taking down 2 bases. No repairs. No repairs. CCs are burning down. SKillous, he's pulling GuMiho apart. GuMiho, he responds, he rotates with everything, mainly a Hellion army. GuMiho is out of gas. GuMiho, he cannot afford Cyclones. He's making 5 Hellions at a time in 1 Cyclone. He's broke, but he has BCs. True, he has battle cruisers. He's got 5 BCs so far. They're banking up, and this is going to be the checkmate move. At least for GuMiho, this is how he's hoping to end the game. And here they come. Here come the BCs. Meanwhile, Planetary is going to go down. GuMiho trading a base for a base, going for the production. Does go for the production. Back at home, we have a wall of tanks, wall of Thors. SKillous should not be able to gain any ground. It's going to be cleaned up. SKillous, he needs to pull away. Oh no! The DTs! They dive in, they get one, not worth it. They get 1 tank. What was that, like 7 to 8 DTs? 11 even. 11 Dark Templar go down. SKillous, now he turns back around. DC's wreaking havoc. They focus down more gateways. They depower the production. There's the recall. You can see SKillous hoping to try to surround this army. Coming in from both angles. One of these flanks is weaker though. One is not quite like the other. Yeah, all these recall Stalkers are going to get picked up. SKillous has got to get out of there. Like, this is a brittle position because if SKillous tries to engage here with his ground army, like the BCs, they can just walk away. They can just float away. And there is no Sky Toss. Warping in another 12 Stalkers at a time. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Oh, nice dodge. Meanwhile, GuMiho is on a 2-base setup, really a 1-base economy. Stuck on a 1-base economy. SKillous is maxed out. He does need some Sky Toss to deal with this. Tempest, they're an answer. True. I mean, they're the answer. One-side support. BCs they teleport away. They escape. GuMiho did lose 1 battle cruiser, as I believe there were 5. Yeah, there were 5. So 1 BC goes down, building up more tanks. Now SKillous still has a better economy. He has all these bases. He has better mining. That is SKillous' advantage here. He has the economy. The BCs did do a lot of damage to the production, but not to the bases, not to the mining bases of SKillous. That's what's important here. He has mining. He has more bases on the way. SKillous, he can afford these trades, at least somewhat. GuMiho cannot. GuMiho, he can't max. He cannot max out. Now, the army supplies are comparable. But if GuMiho doesn't expand, then SKillous should just be able to outscale it. Should be. They go diving on the CCs, gets an orbital, gets 1, and gets 2. You can see SKillous, he just focuses on the economy. Again, that is his win condition. Just starve GuMiho out. Doesn't have to try to push into the siege line. If he did, SKillous could lose. So it's all about just nibbling away at the bases, at the economy. And so far, it's working well. GuMiho going for a counterattack. The Tempest Cannon is building back up. See in the chat, we're going to the finals today? No. This is a 5-day event. This is day 2 of 5. So there's 3 more days ahead of us. 3 more days of LiuLi Cup. 3 more days of the playoffs. Would you say GuMiho isn't too successful because he too often uses mech. I would not say that because he wins with mech. Like, what? We've seen him defeat the best Protoss players in the world with mech. So, I mean, there's a reason why he does it. Because he's the only player that can make it work. Not saying it works 100% of the time, but neither does Bio, for example. As SKillous goes for a big counterattack, he avoids the main army. Does avoid it. Ooh, has to respect the tanks, though. Oof, as SKillous, he bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. A lot of Stalkers do go down. Here come those BCs. GuMiho moving in. As he does teleport away. Teleporting on top of the main army. He wants his Tempest. The Yamato. Ooh, gets one. Gets one Tempest. As all 4 BCs survive, at the same time, SKillous coming in for a counterattack. Attempts to dive into the main, and he will. Takes out both tanks. Will sustain some brutal losses, but again, these are trades that SKillous can afford. He will lose this expansion. This outpost is going to fall. But SKillous is still trading, and I believe he still has a base recall. He dives further in. Gets one BC. Up, he gets 2. 2 BCs go down. 2 BCs left. Is going to be cleaned up. Zella warping here towards the natural, towards the bugger base. As the main army does move in. And as we did mention, again, it's all about the bases mining here for SKillous. He can rebuild. He has a bank. He has 6k minerals in the bank. He's fine. He shuts down the tank, shuts down the Thors. And GG gets called. SKillous, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played, SKillous. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth between SKillous and GuMiho. And SKillous, he will claim it. There were some rough moments for both players. There were some crucial moments here for GuMiho as well, when he was able to surround the main army, he was able to push into the production. But alas, he was eventually cleaned up, eventually shut down. GG. GG, well played. SKillous will claim the series. And that takes us into our next match of the night. Again, the night is still very much so young. We have more matches ahead of us here. We are halfway through the broadcast. Let's go. We are halfway through the broadcast. I'm going to get congratulations here to SKillous. Do need a moment to update the scoreline. And we're going to be heading over to the European server. Why Europe? Well, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back at yourselves. We do have some updates, so we do have plenty to catch up on. Here it is. We just wrapped up with Rainer vs. Dark with SKillous versus GuMiho. Up next, we have a ZVP. Serral versus MaxPax. This is going to be a rematch. Again, we have casted a lot of Serral versus MaxPax actually as of late. We casted them face-off twice in Masters Coliseum. Once, MaxPax was able to win in the upper bracket, and then he lost in the rematch. So they have been going back and forth. It's been very back and forth between MaxPax and Serral. At one point, MaxPax winning a series, then Serral winning a series, then MaxPax once again. And we'll see if Serral can bring it back. We shall see, as they are facing off in a best-of-5 after the break. Again, we're going to be going in a short break. Vetoes are underway as we speak, and when we come back, we will have the second half of the broadcast. We'll have Serral versus MaxPax, followed by Clem versus Hero. We'll get there. We will get there. Until then, we'll see you guys after the break. See you soon. Take this time to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, pet your probes, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll be back soon with some more StarCraft. See you soon.